Aloha! It's amazing to be back recording for you again. Today is Sunday, August 16th, 2015. Recording from Kauai, Hawaii. So what my videos are about is reconnecting to Source. You can't truly disconnect from Source. It's what you are. Uh, you're one with it. But what I mean more is becoming more aware of your connection to Source. Basically, what I want to touch upon on this video is some practices to assist you in becoming more aware of your connection to Source. Basically, conscious enzymes. Enzymes are things that break things down to their most simplest form. So these practices are basically breaking your consciousness down to its simplest form, which is awareness. First and foremost is health. Health is absolutely critical, crucial to raising your vibration to a higher bandwidth, higher frequency. Definitely recommend, obviously, eating very well, very, very well, being very conscious of whatever you put into your temple, your vessel. Any kind of detoxifying, fasting is a very good practice. It takes a lot of discipline. I recommend doing enemas, especially coffee enemas. They about 600 times more detoxifying than a regular enema. So strongly recommend vegetarianism for two main reasons. The vibration that's trapped in the flesh that you consume, whether it be from the fear or the anger, from the consciousnit inside the animal being upset or afraid, that stays in the flesh when you consume it. It will act like an anger and it'll hold you down. Also, cause no harm. When I say vibration or vibrational frequency is when you're feeling really happy or really excited, the energy that you're made of, that everything's made out of, the energy coursing through this temple is vibrating very, very quickly, very, very, very quickly. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, when you're fearful or angry, that energy that you're comprised of is vibrating much, much, much slower. And basically, to give you kind of a visualization of what vibration is how quickly your energy or your consciousness is pinging from heaven to earth, heaven to earth, heaven to earth. If it's pinging very slowly, it doesn't feel, you're further away from your truth, which is your infinite awareness, your infinite consciousness. And the faster you're pinging to Source, the closer you are to merging, the closer you are to union, more in alignment with what you really are instead of what you are, the illusion. Other ways of purifying, mastering your sexual energy. And this is extremely difficult, in my opinion. One of the most difficult practices of a spiritual being. And that being said, I'm not demonizing sex. Obviously, it's the most basic building block of life on this planet. But when you prize sex, when you prize lust over, when it becomes the ends instead of the means, that's when it becomes the problem. And also, you need to identify if it has control over you or you have control over it. If it's an addiction, it's definitely a good discipline. It's definitely a good practice, brahmacharya. Basically, containing and controlling and channeling the very, very, very powerful sexual energy. Basically, just not giving into lust or your sexual desires every time they come up. Kind of practicing with it and utilizing it in a different way. It takes a lot of prana, it takes a lot of life force, a lot of chi to reach higher stages of consciousness, like higher planes. It takes a lot of chi to, pop your bubble. That's one of the greatest ways to conserve prana, life force energy, is to practice abstinence, celibacy, brahmacharya. Another really good practice is being very, very conscious of what you bring into your mind. Everything plants seeds. Everything plants seeds. So if you're watching the news still, disinformation, fear, panic, fear-mongering, programming, that all plants seeds in your awareness. And you never know when they're going to sprout up. Fear is a very, very dense frequency. It doesn't feel good inside of the vessel because it's not in alignment with your truth, which is unconditional love. You're directly manifested from unconditional love. So whenever you're not in alignment with that truth, it doesn't feel good in the vessel. So these are all, what I'm telling you are all practices to get in alignment with your truth, which is you are a divine being, directly manifested from God, from love. Another practice is becoming more in touch with your emotions. And emotions are extremely important because it connects you to your spiritual body, which obviously isn't physical and is connected to the multidimensional sphere. It's very important to act from your heart space. Basically, why it's important to practice being a spiritual being is because it feels better to be in alignment with your truth than it does to be in alignment with the illusion. It feels better to purify and cleanse and reach for God than it is to gratify all of your ego's desires and gratify the illusion. That's kind of the friction that we're dealing with right now. Is the fallen star is basically just the densest form of ego. The ego trying to become God and trying to pull you into this illusion of separation, this illusion of being separate from all that is, when you're really not. You're always connected to God. You're always connected to all that is. You're always connected to Source. But this density wants to convince you to gratify and to believe in it, to identify with this separate self, this ego. They won't tell you until you're about 30th to 33rd degree of Freemasonry that this power that you're tapping into is actually, this inner flame that you're tapping into is actually from Lucifer, which they believe is the bringer of light. The difference between myself personally as a spiritual being and these illuminated beings, these enlightened beings that use their higher understanding to control other people is, I don't believe that this light and this understanding is actually coming from me. It moves through me from God. I'm not a religious person at all. I believe most religions are a form of control, but I am a righteous believer of God, a knower of God. And I think that's important because even when you're out of this vessel, even when you're out of the egoic mind, even when you're expanded to your infinite state, which is your natural state, I am still humble. I'm still humbled by God, even in that very, very pure state of infinite awareness, infinite presence. When I know that I am aware, regardless of anything, regardless of a vessel, regardless of an ego, regardless of a matrix, regardless of a hologram, I am. You are forever. Even in that state, I'm still very humbled by God. The difference is, I believe all that is coming through this point of this illusion of separation, and I get to share it, and this is a conduit to express that, but it's not coming from this. That's the main difference. They believe that they can become God in the ego, that they can become immortal in the flesh, in the ego. So on this spiritual path, be careful if you ever get any thought processes or anyone telling you that the object of worship is the self, because that's not it. Don't get me wrong, this is an amazing vessel. This is an amazing tool to express Source and to learn from and to learn more of what you are, who you are, through limitation, through the illusion of separation. But this is not the object of worship. It is extremely important to respect it. You can trust me, when you leave the vessel, even though it's absolutely glorious, you're no longer identified. You're literally boundless. You're infinite, without exception. it's still amazing. It's still such a gift from God to have a place to house that infinite consciousness, a place to house a home. It's an amazing space to have, something to hold on to, something to identify with. It's, you definitely respect it in that way, but that's all it is. It's a tool to express God in every possible way. So be very wary, be very careful of any being or any thought process that may come up that tells you that that this is the object of worship, and through enlightenment and illumination you can become God. It's not that way. I mean, you are connected to it. There's never any separation, but trust me, stay humble. You will know freedom, really know freedom, when you understand that you have nothing to lose. The car, the house, the job that you're identifying with is not who you are. Even this body, even this vessel, even this mind is not what you are. You are essence. You are eternal awareness. Infinite presence. Regardless of anything, without any exception. That's what you are. It is always your choice in every moment to choose what you truly are, which is love, or the illusion, what doesn't feel correct in the body because it's not in alignment with your truth, which is fear. It is always your choice. Nothing has any built-in meaning. You give everything the meaning. You are self-actualized, meaning you are a meaning-bringing creature in an otherwise meaningless universe. It's one of the greatest gifts God ever gave us, is that nothing has any built-in meaning. You're identifying with it, and you're choosing to give meaning to it. And you can always choose love. Nothing can make you choose. No circumstance, no other being can make you choose your state of being. It's your choice, always. And just remember, you can create anything you want. You are creating what you want in this moment, whether you're conscious of it or not. You can always choose to put yourself in a more conducive environment to expand your consciousness. And you have to really be able to control your frequency, what you output. And I know it's extremely difficult because circumstances do usually dictate the way you feel, but you can flip it. You can flip it on itself and choose to vibrate in love regardless, and that's all you will attract. It's really great to be back. I love you all so much. My next video is going to be my experience with a UFO, extra-dimensional beings. I will be trying to make a video every week, if I can. Just remember that this is a really difficult path that you're choosing. It's very difficult to purify. There is a lot of temptation, and there's a lot of ignorance in this world. There's a lot of darkness in this world. I just want to say thank you so much for trying to awaken from this dream and to embody and anchor love's presence here, God's presence here, what we truly are. That's the greatest gift you can do, is completely illuminate yourself and embody what you truly are, and always be in alignment with what you truly are, which is the infinite. I know many of you now have experienced the infinite. You've consciously left your body, and it's basically bringing that here, bringing heaven to earth, pinging fast enough to where you merge and transcend the illusion. I love you so much. I hope this helped in some way. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the comment bar. Please like this video. Please share. Aloha.